I think that looks pretty good. Tow bar's off the back, wiring's off. So what we can do is we can get stuck now into detailing this. We can put the lowering blocks in, put the rear LED lights back on, reroute the wiring, detail everything, get it painted. That'll get that sorted. Then we can go up here because we've got a bit of an issue up the top end here. Car's not starting. I think the immobiliser's playing up. So if you've got any advice and guidance that isn't light it on fire and burn it, leave it in the comments. Hit like and subscribe, smash that, let us know, and we'll get stuck into this in the next episode. Wish us luck. Wish us luck. Okay, managed to take the tow bar off the back, and as you can see, it's all looking pretty good. 19s look really good on the rims on the car. What I think though is if I have a bit of a look back here, these need to maybe come out a little bit. So we're probably going to have to get something like maybe some spacers or something like that. But right now, it's time to get stuck into this. This is the wiring mess that goes to the back of the car. We also need to sort out the wiring that goes across here because the easiest way to sort out wiring is with tape. Work your way through, tape it up, make it look good. Oh, and I'm going to try and hide it. So let's get stuck into that. So I know this actually looks pretty boring doing this, but it's quite therapeutic and it's quite satisfying to get your wiring all sorted out with black electrical tape like this. And it looks really clean at the very end when you've got it on the car. Now you're probably not going to see this particular piece of wiring, but the good thing is it's going to give me peace of mind to know that this essentially has been done at the back of the car. So I can just put it in, get it sorted, get it done. And I think you'll see already, it looks a hell of a lot neater than what they did from factory, from Ford. So I just keep persisting, get it all done, make it look neat and clean, then we'll have no problem. Well, it's been about 5 weeks since I've come into the garage and the place has been a bit of a mess. It's been a bit of a dumping ground. We haven't done anything for a long time, but I've got a couple of hours to spare, so I thought I might just turn the phone off and just come here and have a go at the Falcon. Got a couple of things we need to do, and I've got a couple of parts in which is going to help us out a lot. We are going to change the rear spring shackles, and I'm also going to, so the spring U-bolts, and I've also got some lowering blocks we're going to put in the back here. At the same time, while we do that, we're also going to put new brake rotors and new brake pads. I've also got some really cool spacers. We're going to chuck those on. The tyres and rims, we're going to get them done today as well and get them on the back. I'm also going to take a couple of leaves out of the spring pack because it's got a few things in it that doesn't need it. I'm then going to paint the whole lot, and hopefully by the end of this episode, apart from the exhaust, the rear end should be completely done. And then I'll probably not do anything for another 5 weeks. But I'm in here, no one's going to annoy me, so let's start doing it. All right, for my next trick, I'm going to reset the rear leaves on this 1 tonner because they are actually set up currently for, I don't know, a 1 ton of weight in the back, and we're not going to have that anymore. And these leaf springs have got extra springs and blocks and bits and pieces that just don't need to be there. So there is a cool way of doing that reset. Now we are going to use a 1.5 inch lowering block, so we don't need to mess around with the actual spring locations. But what you do need is you do need some of these, and these will essentially clamp it off, and then you can undo that center pin, pull them apart, take the ones out you don't need, and hence give you a smaller spring pack. So I've got an idea of which ones we want to take out. Let's just crack into it and see if we can thin the herd. Right, so there we go. Spring pack has now been adjusted. This is what I took out. This was actually on the bottom, and that was the original spring there. And as you see, if I put the lowering block next to it, it's probably I've taken 2 inches out from underneath the diff. So we don't need this anymore. This can be moved away. And we're going to take that 2 inches and we're actually going to put it on top of the springs underneath the diff and lower the whole car 1.5 inches using these blocks. Now all I have to do is undo the diff. The diff will sit there fine. That's all good to go. And I can then give it a broom off, and then I can give it a quick paint, and then I can fit it all back together again. Okay, the next step in the whole process is that now the diff is done, the springs are done, the lowering blocks are in. Let's go and replace the rotors because they're absolutely flogged out. No good. We'll get the backing plate a quick paint, clean up the calipers, we'll put some new brake pads in these, we'll give the whole thing a brake fluid bleed, and that will get that sorted out and done. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way this hub has come up. You know, the brake caliper, the wheel spacer, the brake rotor and everything. It just looks neat and clean. It's not designed to be anything else but that. And also pretty happy because we've got our rims and tyres back as well. So we've got the big 275s on the 18s at the back here. Now it's time to get those on and really complete the look. All right, let's have a bit of a look and see what we've got here. Wheels don't look too bad. You can see inside those wheels, they've got, you know, the brake calipers and the hubs and all that sort of stuff. A little bit of colour coming up from the shock absorber. Diff's all been painted as well. I don't think that looks too bad on the grand scheme of things. Okay, so this is the exhaust off the back of the 1-tonner, and the back end of the exhaust here is actually not too bad. We can use all this, but where it joins here and goes to the front, we've got a problem right there, because if you can see in there, it's actually got some cracks. It's got a pretty bad crack there, and also, look at that. Oh, that is absolutely haggard. So, what we have to do is we now have to go, come on, focus. We now have to go and see if we can find this piece here. When you need an exhaust piece, well, you've got to come here to this place, to U-Pull It. So let's head into the yard, have a look and see what they've got. Bullseye, got what I wanted. Now this is what we're going to call a straight pipe. We've taken the exhaust out. All we have to do now is get this little end flared and get a couple of clamps and the exhaust is fixed. All right, so we have our new exhaust piece right here. We have our old exhaust piece. What we now have to do is mark it off, cut it, and away we go. Now what I didn't show you, come and have a bit of a look at this, is I've actually had the end of this exhaust piece flared by the exhaust shop and I've got a clamp. So it's going to be really easy to connect this together. All we're going to do is chop it. And the result is the old piece of exhaust, which is garbage. Get rid of that. And the new piece will go on here and clamp there. And what I'm also going to do is give this section of the exhaust a quick clean up as well and paint, because you will be able to see that from when it's actually on display under the AU under the back. So all things being equal, exhaust is looking good. Okay, so some of you are probably watching this thinking, why is he fixing up an old exhaust? Why don't you just go and get a brand new piece? Well, a brand new piece for an exhaust like this, about 180 bucks for the section back here. And the reality of it is, because we're on a budget, if we don't have to replace something, then we won't. Remember, the ute is essentially being done up on a budget so Tom can make as much money. Now, this rear exhaust muffler is actually still in pretty good condition, but it's been coated in dirt and garbage along the way. So, as you saw then, just a quick wire wheel cleans off all the surface rust and bits and pieces. And what you do is you finish it off with this stuff here, which is engine enamel. And this is rated to 500 degrees. 500 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Anyway, pretty hot stuff. I saw the guys at Well Hung Exhaust put this on the back of the Chrysler, and I thought, that doesn't look too bad. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Now the big transformation is going to happen next when we paint this. And here it is, and I think you'll agree, it looks fantastic, certainly compared to what it was. Now all up, the can of paint was 15 bucks. The wire wheel I already had, the exhaust piece to put it back on was another 15 bucks, to flare it out was 10. So all up, we're looking at about $45 to fix this exhaust and get it on and make it look really good. I've even got the rubbers here as well. I don't have to pay any money for that. So certainly from about 180 bucks back to about 45 bucks. It makes sense that if you don't have to replace something, give it a quick clean up and put it back on, because it doesn't look too bad. Let's get it on and have a look. And here it is. The new exhaust has been painted black, or the old exhaust has been painted black. And I think as you'll see, and have a look at that, it looks a lot neater and cleaner. Now obviously we're not going to see it through the top here, but I've popped some new rubbers in there as well, just to make sure it's all shored up. But you can see the way exhaust comes up and over, it looks nice and clean, and that's exactly what the next thing we have to do now is we have to get the alarm remote so we can get this thing running. So I think what we might do is, I have found one on the other side of town. We need to go and grab that, get back here and see if we can get it started. Okay, so the big problem that we've had with this car so far is that we can turn it on, but it won't actually start, and the gas system's not working, being a factory gas system. We've got the key, but we have up until this date not had this little guy, the little 2-pin transponder. And so what we need to do is we need to basically use this and code this into the car. In order to do that, there is a little bit of a process to do, so I'm going to do that and see if we can make it happen. Okay, so I don't think that worked, because I don't think the battery is working on this, so I need to replace the battery. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks since we last caught up, and this is where this video is going to end for the AU at the moment. We're still trying to work out how to get it started. I can actually get it to turn over, but I can't get it to start. Now, it is an LPG vehicle. It is a ute, and I have got a new remote, but I can't get it coded in, and the smart lock's flashing. But I did hit the dash, and I have managed to get it turning over. So if you are an AU person and you understand AU Series 1, please let us know, give us some advice, give us some guidance, because we'd love to get this thing started. And there doesn't appear to be power getting through to the LPG activators and stuff like that. So I can get it to turn over, but I can't get it to start. So please feel free to leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe as well, because the reason you need to subscribe right here is, as you can probably see, there's a few things that have turned up, because we have a brand new project car, an awesome project car. We're not going to be selling this one. We're actually building a car to keep, which hasn't happened on the O2 garage for a long time. So the Chrysler's going to get a stablemate. But all of that and more on the next episode, where we're going to reveal what we've got. So please hit that like and subscribe button right here. Leave us a comment about the starting issues on the Falcon, and we'll see you in the next episode.